Next topic is how to pass an array to a function, and then the function reads the array for further processing. So let's create another file, f3.cpp, and let's define function f3. Just for testing purpose, let's see if function 3 is called or not by a message. Include iostream using name space std. Okay, then let's call f3 from main function and then make a file. We need to have a f3.0 to create executable code, and then we need to add a rule how to create f3.0. G++. So there, now make f3 in main function is not recognized because it's defined external to this main.cpp file there, and the basic function called is there. So in function 3, suppose we have an array of integers like this, and then I'm going to call a function named show, and then pass the array. In C++, you cannot pass the entire contents of the array, but all you can pass is the name of the array, which is address of the first element, as we have learned. Then as we define function show, and then the argument a is address of the first element. First element is integer. So in a parameter definition, we need to declare a variable which can hold the argument passed. So argument is address of integer variable. So you need to define integer pointer to receive or to store the address. That's the requirement. Another one is before a function is called, a function definition should be given, or at least the prototype of the function should be given. So let's give a prototype of the function show. And then parameter is a integer pointer, and the parameter name is optional in prototype definition. So that's what you got. And if I want to display the contents of the array, I can do cout star p. That would be the first element, as we have address of the first element in p. And then if we do ++p, we move to the next address of the next element. Then if I do cout, I'll printing the second value. So if I test it, I have a 10 and 20 and the like. So based on this idea, what I can do is using a loop. How many? So in C++, when you pass an array, you only pass the address of the first element, which is a array name, but you don't know, in the receiving function side, you don't know how many elements are in the array. So you need to pass another information, how many elements are in the array. So we need to define such parameter as well. Then having a loop, you can print the contents of that. Make show prototype definition. Second parameter is int. So that's an error. Then we print all of the value. So that is one way to handle this one. But as you now recall that when this loop is over, we no longer keep the address of the first element. Suppose we wanted to rescan the array again, then we don't know what is the address of the first element. So the better way of doing this one is don't change the p, just keep it pointing to the first element. So you can do another quick thing would be I can define another pointer n which is initialized to p, and then using that local variable, and then now I can use p again to rescan, and the p is always pointing to the first element and the like. So that is one solution. Another solution is using the C++ semantic that when a pointer is initialized to the address of a first element, which is the case, p is pointing to the first element in the array, then you can use a p, the pointer p, as if it's array name, which means if p is array name, I can have access to the element using index notation like that. So that would be another popular solution. So C++ semantic again, if pointer p is initialized to the address of the first element, then you can use a pointer p as if it's an array name. So this syntax is allowed. Make, read it out, it runs okay. Now, before we conclude, let's do the test-driven program, automated testing. Otherwise, we need to visually verify the output. So let's have some assertion. So I need to first include C assert library so that I can use assert function. So at this moment, I can do assert p I is sum of the known value, but here we don't know what the known value is. So for testing purpose, let's copy the same array, then we can compare like this. Okay, so if I have 70 here, I need to keep the same array, and then using the assertion, you can test that. Make out. So all the assertion in each iteration is successfully done. So we have tested the feature that pointer is initialized to the array name. Then you can use a pointer as if it's array name.